power of the meditation is not to give you a special healing experience or something like that, but actually it is to transform your own complicatedness, your own confusion, your own suffering into no suffering. And if we really look at ourselves, if we really look at our lives, you will see that you are suffering, whether you know it or not. There's a lot of the things we don't want to look at within ourselves because we're afraid of them, or they make us feel uncomfortable, or we don't know how to understand those things, etc. So this is where we learn to go beyond labels. Once we can start dropping the labels of good or bad or right or wrong, we can start actually feeling what's here. Even those difficult feelings or those difficult thoughts that we'd rather not have. This is a very special potion. This is a potion of mindfulness and detachment. We can learn all kinds of different lessons if we are open enough to listen. We can learn a lesson from the sound of the bird outside in the tree, if we can listen deeply enough. But we're so caught up in reacting to what is seen, reacting to what's heard, reacting to what's felt. We can't actually step back into freedom, and that's what we should do. We should step back into freedom, and then we can make our decision if we want to stay or we want to go or whatever. There's a truth in that, what you're saying, Saharte. So saying that freedom can't be thought of for the hungry and the poor, or freedom can't be thought of for the people in the most difficult situations that need support. But many people have no other option. So if you are sick and poor, hungry and poor, the Dhamma can also be relevant. You just don't have the blessings to be able to receive it or to listen to it or to put it into practice. A lot of people are in that position, not only the general idea of hungry and poor, but people who don't have enough blessings in this life to actually hear the Dhamma, to begin practicing meditation or transforming the way that they approach their lives, taking a new look at reality, taking a new look at life as it is. So one of my teachers, he has a monastery in Myanmar with thousands of people, sick, disabled, hopeless, helpless, hungry, mentally ill, physically ill people. And at this monastery, sometimes all that these people can do is be sick and be dying and listen to the Dharma, and that's really a blessing for them. We might have this idealized version of life, or what we want to get out of life, or what we want to experience in life, or what other people should be able to experience. But sickness, old age, and death is going to meet all of us, regardless of what we do. Join the club. Next up, there's nothing wrong with hitting rock bottom. I would say many people hit rock bottom every day, multiple times. They just don't know it. So this is a gift for you to recognize that the way that you're living is not working. That who and what you're listening to and trusting and understanding is not correct. So you have to detach. You have to abandon your own understanding. You have to abandon your own position of authority over your own life. Because it doesn't work. What you're doing doesn't work. Shout out to the Philippines. Thank you for your blessings and for your kindness. Thank you for your negative comments or your difficult opinion. Because whatever it is, if we can share it, if we can put it out there, it's going to be easier to let it go. It's going to be easy to work with it together rather than just working on it in ourselves. So we can be open and flexible about sharing. Sharing from our own experience, sharing from our heart, sharing from our deeper understanding instead of our shallow level understanding. There's nothing wrong with being a loser. There's nothing wrong with suffering. There's nothing wrong with being depressed. There's nothing wrong with being anxious. There's nothing wrong with having not being the smart guy in the room, or the cool guy in the room, or the beautiful guy in the room, etc. Come out of that difficult moment, come out of that negativity, come out of that story about this experience, and just be in this experience for everyone, not just for yourself. That is the biggest problem, that we only think about ourselves. We only think about our personal position or our personal understanding or our personal opinion. Etc. Yeah, lighten up, relax. We're too much heavy. Too much heat, too much hot, too much stress. Well, you come back. This isn't just about we feel good all the time and everything's going happy dandy land, but we know how to come back. You know, what actually makes us, how we find ourselves happy and free. It's that freedom, it's that flexibility, it's that openness. So we have to learn how to recognize closedness, contraction, the suffering, the negativity, right? The trappedness we get ourselves in, and how to step back from that. Step back into freedom. Step back into freedom. And step back even from the stepping back, to really widen out. Be uncomfortable. We're not going to be comfortable all the time. There's no world, there's no life where we're going to be comfortable all the time. So it's that wrong idea, that wrong understanding that's telling us to try and be comfortable all the time. And it's just not what life is about, being comfortable. Once you learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, then life can start to open up. Yeah, you can't get away from suffering, so be with it, so open to it. Can you see that? Can you notice that? Can you see that? Can you notice that? Don't try to go to a bar alone. Try to go to a meditation center alone, or a Buddhist temple near you alone. You're simply not going to get anywhere at the bar. You're just going to get drunk and maybe meet some other drunk people. So see if you can find a meditation center near you. See if you can find a Buddhist temple near you. The person that you really have to meet, that you haven't met yet, is you. That's the person you need to meet. That's the person you have to spend time with. That's the person that you actually have to deal with the relationship that you have with them. And that person is you. And this is a you that's not about being a man or a woman. This is a you that's not about how you think about yourself. This is a you of the universe itself, reality itself, within you, right in the here and the now. And yeah, you can sit in silence and reflect, but it's really to be open with yourself as you are. And if you're kind of locking yourself in a closet and trying to meditate, there's a lot of constriction in that. You have to be careful about that. To relax and to be open. None your business, Dawn. Next up, that's fantastic. It means you're making a lot of blessings. Okay? About never owning a home, that's just a desire for the future. There is no future. The future is not a real thing. So you're spending your life taking care of two parents with cancer full time. The problem in this is that you're not giving enough to that taking care. You need to give more to that environment, to make that environment a field of blessings. Make sure everything's clean. Make sure everything's taken care of. If you can't clean the whole house, make sure your room is taken care of and clean and tidied up and really nice, really precious, really special. You've got all these people going around trying to make money, and you know what's growing in their heads? A big, fat, cancerous brain tumor. So what you're doing right now is not about making money, it's about practicing generosity, it's about helping others, it's about service, it's about caring, it's about cooperating, it's about protecting. And this is very, very valuable and very, very powerful. Next up. It's the reason that you can receive what's being said here, because you have corresponding blessings that you've made to be able to receive it. 100%, I'm not joking about that. So get your energy up, get your juice up, and start taking care to a higher degree and a higher level of that environment. And of your internal environment as well, by starting to listen to Dharma talks. And so Bolt, describe that. Be specific. This is also taking back our right to be specific, because we've been trained in the crocodilo, bombaradillo U.S. education system, education prison system, that our minds and our lives are all about answering questions according to something that was fed to us and we were forced to memorize. So you have to now fail the system of trying to understand, trying to grasp a hold of this experience, trying to put this experience into a box. I have relationships with many women. That's the nature of being a teacher. That's the nature of being someone who's available for anyone, for everyone. The problem is our minds have become so small. Our minds have become this, like, we're looking through a little pinhole.
Well, what did you have for breakfast this morning anyway? What were you looking at on your phone?
Etc. And we don't have this capacity to actually step back into a bigger mind, a broader mind. It's like we've got all this tension, we've got all this constriction, we've got all this contraction in our ego. And this is the chance and the opportunity to relax and release your body and mind and your ego. Relax. We've gotten into this mindset where we're these important businessman, businesswoman CEOs that okay, I'll stay here for a minute, but I've got to get back to my TikTok. I'll stay here for a minute, but I've got to keep watching YouTube videos. I'll stay here for a minute, but I need to go to McDonald's. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anyone. Stop attempting to grasp onto this experience. Stop attempting to hold onto this experience. I'm next up. Instead of this life being like a business model or a business plan that we have to figure out, or something that it's our position of responsibility to understand what's being experienced. It's not. This life is not a business plan or a business model. This is not a monastery. This is not sitting on a mountain for a guided meditation. Your life doesn't have any guarantees. You're not guaranteed to understand what happened yesterday. You're not guaranteed to understand what's going to happen tomorrow. Really, you're not. And so instead of trying to figure this all out, let go and let be. And appreciate what is already here. And appreciation isn't just to say that's nice, but it's actually to give your attention to. To look deeply at what is right here and right now already. Wait a minute. Don't chase it. Don't chase the good result. Don't chase the good experience, even if it's spiritual. Or even if you think that it's good. Really being here. 100%. Full attention. Nothing to learn. No test to pass. Nothing to memorize. Nothing to get. Nothing to get rid of. Nobody to tell us what to do anymore. This is our treehouse. This is our freedom zone. This is our cool kids only. Hold on a minute. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Let's be real. Childism is a big problem. Each child is an individual. They have their own qualities, positives and negatives. All children can't be put into a box. If we say that someone else is childish, it's just like saying someone else is like a woman or someone else is like a black person. It's completely inappropriate. Children are just as real as adults. Children's rights are just as important as adults. Children are not the property of their parents. Children are not possessions of adults. Yes, Sandra, that's right. I agree. I support that message. Yeah, you could say that as well. You could say that adults are children, just older. So I would say a lot of our cultural issues in the modern world relate to childism. Just like a lot of the cultural issues in the modern world before feminism related to sexism. And a lot of the cultural issues before the civil rights movement related to racism. So I think there's a lot of very subtle and real cultural issues that directly relate with childism. There's nothing wrong with having a head shaped like an egg. There is a true reality that is not about anything, hidden from no one. Everything expresses it. Everything vibrates with this true reality that is unspeakable, unthinkable, not about anything, not related to anyone. We are moving on a journey to nowhere, and we're going to get there. But in a sense, we've already arrived. But in a sense, there's no we to begin with. You know, some children grow up with nobody. I mean, how would you feel if you were just ignored? We will begin to see ourselves in the same way that we see the environment as we get closer to the fractal truth of original mind. Because this original mind is not inside of the body. Falling man, you have to learn about using your experience. But using your experience concerned with generosity. And finding out how that can connect you more with other people that maybe are interested or concerned with the same things that you are. But we've kind of become backwards in a lot of ways, or we find ourselves to be backwards in a lot of ways, where we It's very difficult to talk about, but it's kind of like thinking that you are the person that's selling something when you're the person who wants to buy something. Or it's kind of like thinking that you're the person teaching something while you're the person learning something. It's kind of like that, but it's not stuck in like the dualistic framework of that. It's just kind of like that. It's like being a guest in someone else's home and thinking that that's your home, or being a guest in someone else's home and then maybe not thinking that that's your home, but being comfortable enough to critique the meal that they're offering you. And this doesn't mean that you have to be there or that that meal is actually good. It just means like you're not taking responsibility for the opportunity that you have. We want to be scammed. Let's be real about it. We are programmed to desire being scammed. We are programmed by modern culture to be scammed, to be manipulated, to be tricked, to be easily advertised to. Okay? So we're looking for a good advertisement. We're looking for a good trick. We're looking for something to convince us. Instead of that, what is it like to be unconvinced? Really, and when we get into the energy of it, the big generosity, the big support, or the big conflict that life gives us, because the excitement that we feel, a positive excitement or a negative excitement, they are parallel. They go together. So the more that we get worked up with positive excitement is the more that we're going to be worked up with negative excitement. The more that we indulge in and fixate on pleasure, the more that we are going to be indulging in and fixating on pain when it comes along. Thank you, Blueberry Madness. I do have a Zelle or PayPal. A lot of different ways that I can receive donations. I also have a body, so if you come here to Vietnam and you make a donation to me, you're welcome, but probably online is better. I don't think I would get a hair transplant, but well, we feel lost because we're seeking for something that we can't get. That's why we feel lost. Eightfold Path is very, very useful. I've never had much use for it in the way of like study, but it's very, very useful. Well, falling man, it depends on how we're approaching that, right? So if we think of things as a zero-sum game, and that keeps us to be a very selfish and alcohol addicted and kind of a lazy mess of a human being with a lot of negative emotions, that's going to be a big problem. But if we think of things as being a zero-sum game, and that inspires us to be open and inclusive and flexible and generous, then there are many opportunities through that vision, that seeing of, kind of something that's kind of nihilistic, but not really, because we still have to make use of it. PayPal username. I have experienced Bhakti Yoga bliss. Yeah, just another trap to fall into. And everybody is welcome here. You know, this isn't about making judgments if someone's being a good one or being a bad one. It's not about that. Just like it's not about people saying good things or bad things to us. It's not about people trying to take something from us or trying to give something from us. It's not about anything like that. So if someone is coming here and being very bad and naughty, that's okay. If someone is coming here and being very wonderful and generous and kind and meditative, that's okay. And when we apply that okayness to the experience that is already here, we can actually deepen and broaden and widen out our experience. To listen more deeply, to share more deeply, to sustain attention, to be together with everything. The daily quote for today is don't believe in anything. And so what is it like? What is it like to not believe in anything? And this is where everybody goes off the walls. The kids start screaming, the adults start yelling, everybody starts ripping off their clothes and throwing rotten tomatoes. What is it like to not believe in anything? Start saying nonsense, you know, acting not as deeply as you could act, sharing not as deeply as you could share, and you know that. What is it like to not believe in anything? Don't be so quick to give an answer. Don't be so quick to rely on the seeming, how it seems, right? Look right at it. Look deeply at it. What is it like to not believe in anything? What is it like to not believe in anything? What is it like to not answer questions? Try to remember, because this is something that can get confusing. This is not a conversation. There's no conversation to be had at all. Conversation is just talking to yourself. Conversation is just words meeting words. The barrier is your stupidity, or we can say the barrier is your ignorance and attachment, or we can say the barrier is primordial wrong view of being someone, of being somewhere, of having a life. That's why you don't get that. I cannot get that. That's why there's so much fanfare, so much imagery, so much specialness, so much display when we look at things like the Tibetan Buddhist teachers and the Buddhist monks and nuns and monasteries and temples, because it's there to distract you, and you can call it to inspire you, but you don't want this. The ego doesn't want freedom. The ego just wants to perpetuate itself. The ego just wants to feel pleasure and avoid pain. So the ego tries to defend itself when confronted with death, or confronted with real nothing, or confronted with the reality of how stupid it is. The notion of separation, the notion of permanence, the notion of something being satisfactory, worthwhile to grasp onto. Our ego to be the one who understands. Our ego to be the one who's right. Our ego to be something, to be someone, to be seen, to be respected, to be listened to. Not just to have a good impact, but we just want to have an impact. That's the ego's desire. So we don't really care if it's good or bad. And this is the nature of evil people. They'll do whatever they can to get what they want, to feel the way that they want to feel. They don't care about harming other people. They don't care about being negative. They don't care about taking and not giving. They just are acting out from their greed, from their suffering. So our willingness to face suffering is not something intellectual. And it's not something about getting something else. And it's not something about proving something to ourselves or to anyone else. There's no proof. We really are just willing to face suffering. There's no YouTube, there's no live stream, there's no Rob, there's no monk, there's no gamer, there's no study, there's no style, there's no this comment or that comment. There's no story or narrative. It's a stepping back and a facing. Or even a stepping back from stepping back. It's an addiction to stimulation. It's an addiction to involvement. It's an addiction to reification of sensations. It's an addiction to appearances. There isn't anything that's not temporary. So we learn, we train, we embody to stop holding on to things. So that is the practice of being aware and not holding on to things. Not even holding on to awareness. Not even holding on to the idea of practicing something. So actually it is a certain kind of embracing hopelessness. That's one way you can call it. Usually it's the people that are very quick to talk that would get more benefit by listening more closely. And it's the people that are not so easy to talk that would get more benefit or share more benefit by sharing. And so the centering is coming back to a single object of awareness, a single place of attention, such as our breathing, or awareness of the heart beating, or even just looking at one single thing. So in this way, It's not about being a particular way. It's not about feeling good or feeling bad. It's just a matter of your being aware that gives you your right to authenticity, or your right to freedom, or your right to being alive. So you're finding your right to just be alive through just being aware. And instead of getting involved with these moment-by-moment thoughts or dispositions or positions or perspectives that we take on, we're not getting involved with them. We're not indulging those appearances. And so you can imagine if there is let's say a constant buzzing sound in your noise, in your ears, it can be very annoying. And so this whole body and mind is actually a buzzing sound. This whole sensory world, the whole universe of forms and appearances, thoughts and ideas and stories, is a dream of buzzing in our ears. So we think because we're agitated, or we think because we feel happy or something, that it's about something in this buzzing, something particular in this buzzing. There's not actually anything particular in this buzzing. It's just the buzzing itself. Everything is just the buzzing itself. And we're developing, just by being here, we're developing new standards of what stress is, new standards of what peace is, new standards of how we react to stimulation, new standards of how we see through the reality of a thought. We see its impermanence, we see its unsatisfactoriness. We see, perhaps, that it is empty of separation. It's not about feeling good. It's not about coming here and feeling good, or feeling a particular way, or believing in a particular thought. It is about facing ourselves. So as much as you can face yourself, you're making use of this. As much as you cannot, you're wasting your time. How would I do that? Watch the mind, or watch the body, whatever's loud for you right now, without identifying as that. So watch the mind without that being my mind, or myself seeing myself. Watch the body without seeing yourself as the body. Just be the watching. Without this being your body, without this being your mind, without this being an environment that is somehow under your dominion. That's a big problem that we have in the modern world, especially for Western people, American people. We've got this ingrained habit energy of the environment being under our dominion. But this environment is not under your dominion. That's just an illusion. You're a false king, a false prophet, a false royal, a false landlord, etc. Everything about you is false. Everything about you is fake. You're not the main character of your own story. You're not the main character of any story. There is no story in nature, because there is no duality in nature, because there is no separation in which to form a story in nature. this moment-by-moment reality is actually a never-ending and never-beginning hologram of a crystal that is just this, which is nothing. Etc. So we're working in this coming together and this being aware without clinging on the dissolution of our problem-making skills. Most people only have problem-making skills, or most of their capacities are in making problems and not in solving them. So we're learning to be aware without complaining or without having an opinion. You don't have a right to speak. There's no right for free speech. There's no right even to live. In this crystal of never-ending and never-beginning original primordial stew of reality as it is, you don't even have a right to be alive, let alone anything else about you getting what you want or avoiding what you want to avoid. You have no rights here. And that is truly right. And so we learn to listen instead of speak. We learn to be aware instead of doing things, physically or mentally or verbally. We've got too much hope, frankly. We have way, way too much hope. We're always looking over on the other side and thinking, wow, that's going to be the woman of my dreams. Wow, that's going to be the man of my dreams. Wow, that's going to be the situation that I've really been looking for. Wow, that's going to be the best cheeseburger ever. Wow, that's going to be the best place to stay ever. It's never going to be that way. And it is our expectations that keep us trapped in this narrative of false hope. True hope is hopeless. Truth is empty of any kind of idea about it. So splay out together with everything. There's no tomorrow. I mean, it doesn't. The greenest grass is right here and right now. It doesn't get greener than this. There's no such thing as free cheese. No such thing as free cheese. Because most people don't have enough blessings to go and stay at a meditation center or a monastery where they will actually be able to meet people who have some real experience with meditation or the path. So it's like what you said, Argyle. These certain kinds of bacterium, meaning like the certain ways that people express themselves in this environment, they only exist at this temperature. If you turn the temperature up, those people run right away. They run as fast as they can, trying to catch that gingerbread man. Their little heroin addict, their little fentanyl addict inside of themselves says, "Whoop, I've got to get out of here as quick as I can because I'm not going to be able to get my fix. I'm not going to be able to establish a continuous sense of identity at the level of heat that's currently going on." That's why those people don't go to meditation centers. That's why they stay away from monasteries and monks and temples and places where real practitioners are. Not that all those places are great or that all those people have wisdom. It's just that there's a lot of heat there. So it can get rid of certain bacteria, certain impractical ways of thinking. So this is the Petri dish that is open to everyone. We can be open to the good and the bad bacteria, the high and the low level bacteria, and people can get a little bit of an experience, a little bit of connection with the path. Addiction is not about drugs or alcohol. Addiction is about unchecked desire and unchecked aversion. So the only people that truly are free from addiction are people who have right view or people who are enlightened. People who can stop right where they are. People who can see through the notion of past and future, right here and now. See the illusory nature of someone or something or some place or some time or some situation or some experience or some way of defining what this is. There's no way to define what this is. Reality isn't sitting on a platform of thoughts. So to sit on reality, you have to forgive or renounce or let go of the importance that you're giving to thoughts, one way or another. Oh, the Matan podcast was really a joy for me, and I hope that if I end up back in America, I hope that I'll get the chance to play with Matan again. He's got good parents. He's got good people around him. He's a respectful young man. He's open. He's playful. He's curious. Maybe sometimes he can get a little bit rough and tough, but that's a part of the learning process, and I wish the very best for him. In terms of how he was with me, when I was there, he was very respectful and very kind and generous. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Matan Evan podcast, I definitely recommend you go check it out. I was also on with Kai Cenat, and that was a cool interview as well. But now I'm slowly fading into obscurity, which there's a real truth for that. When we really get the higher wisdom, the higher compassion, when we really embody the path, somebody shows up and you tell them, "Get the hell out of here. I don't want your money. I don't want your questions. I don't want your answers. I don't want anything to do with you. Get out." And that's actually an invitation at the highest level, because there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to get. There's nothing to understand here. But if we can find some way to not be selfish lunatics, then we should find that way. You know, that's no way to live. You have to let it go because you don't have a choice, you know, and then you can determine how fully do you want to devote your time to that kind of practice. How conducive is it for you at that moment? Not just a monastery in general, but a specific monastery. And finding out that our real monastery and our real guru is the emptiness of everything. Our real guru, our real master, is there totally not being any such thing as past or future right here, right now. So the contract doesn't exist of you being alive 5 minutes from now. Can you imagine the degree of panic, the degree of confusion, the degree of struggle and stress that would come up if you could somehow intellectually realize that there's no guarantee for you not being alive 5 minutes from now? And yet that is already the case. So the practice is not to fixate on the existence or the non-existence of yourself, but whatever contract you have, to rip it, to release it, to relax it. Concentration without fixation is not anger. It's just energy. So we have to start. Usually the barrier is a lack of generosity. It's a lack of detachment, okay? And so until we can actually access detachment, we have to focus on being more generous. That is the real way to go forward. Otherwise, you're just coming in here and complaining and, you know, making a mess and making a fool of yourself. So, but that's our karma. That's our karma. That's what we have to deal with within ourselves. We're all looking around for someone to be convinced by, but when we find out that someone doesn't care about convincing us of something, we may have to just let go. We here is all my devoted followers and supporters. All of the kind and generous assembly here at the monastery of the present moment. Tim, I would put you over my lap and I'd spank your butt till you were enlightened. That's what I would do, Tim. I would like to know nothing. So, Miss or Mr. or Revamp Emily, we find peace within suffering by stepping back from our identification with suffering. So we find freedom in this moment by stepping back from our story and our narrative about this moment at all. Because we've all got this story that we have some kind of God-given right to feel pleasure and to avoid pain, but that's not true. So we have to be ready to get slapped in the face, and then ready to be slapped in the other cheek, and then get ready to be in a slapping contest with the other person into infinity, until your whole brain and your mind and your body explode into nothingness. Not about you understanding anything, not about you having an accurate opinion about this experience. So it's kind of like getting hit with a nuclear bomb and then holding up a certificate of your opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter. Your understanding about this experience is stupid and pointless. And you can take it and throw it in a recycling bin somewhere. 100% period. From the top to the bottom. What did Tupac say? All the way up. All the way up. All the way out. If you think this is me frustrated, you better watch out. You don't want to see me if I get frustrated. You don't want to see me frustrated. I can promise you that right now. That will be very surprising. This is not frustration. This is just the way that it is. This is just a mirror. So the frustration that you see in the mirror is just yourself. And I'm here to help you to see through the appearances in the mirror so that you won't be so frustrated anymore, even frustrated by frustration. See, people get a really wrong idea that somehow they're supporting me by sharing their opinion, or that their attention is somehow valuable. But without mindfulness and detachment, you're just taking, you're not giving. And if you want to get a lot, you have to give a lot. So there's people who have such a big desire to get a lot from this, but they're giving, basically nothing. So you're not going to get anything from it. That's just not how it works. It's like you go to a meditation retreat and you sit down and you start complaining about that it doesn't feel the way you want it to feel, or you're not getting what you want to get from it. It's not the point. The point of this is not for you to get what you want. To go even another step higher, the point of this is not for you to understand this. Get out. Go. All the way. Until you're completely alone. Right down to the core of your experience. So this is turning up the heat. Remember we talked about the temperature variations? There's also environmentally, there's an environmental thermostat, and you want to be careful not to mess with that too much. Because it can get exciting, but we turn up the heat and those bacterium, they run away very quickly. No problem. Run, run, run like the gingerbread man. Run away. Not because I want you to go away, but because you are free to go. Just like you're free to stay. There is no such thing as you or I. You and I are an illusion, a dream. It's like you're meeting someone in a dream, or you're having a conversation with someone in a dream. And then you become more aware. You become aware of your dreaming. Now you are aware of you having a conversation with someone in a dream, together with everything. Wake up. It's a beautiful moment. Come and collect the bounty. If you cannot let go, Michael or Mikhail, you have to give. What you cannot let go of, you have to give. There is no path for me. I have no path anymore. I'm destitute. I've lost everything. Dweller, you say one more word in that line of thinking, and it won't be funny. Be very, very careful with your next words, Dweller. I told you. I told you, Dweller. 5 minutes and timeout. No, you won't. You won't see me when you see me. And you'll never speak in this chat ever again. So we have to be okay with constantly suffering. We have to be okay with how miserable this situation and this experience is right now. We have to be okay with how right it is as much as we have to be okay with how wrong it is. We have to be okay with how beautiful it is as much as we have to be okay with how ugly it is. And the same goes for neutrality or boredom. Boredom is very, very powerful. Learning to get okay with the boredom. Yeah, so we're going into a space where the teaching is shut your mouth and keep it shut. Don't share your commentary. Don't share your opinion. Don't share what you think about it. It's just nonsense. Your mouth is confused with your rear end. Okay? This is a no fart zone, which means for many of you it's a no speaking zone. Period. You go back to your breathing. You try to monkey see, monkey do. You try to do what I'm doing. If you don't know what I'm doing, you can ask that. It's not for everybody. When we share, it should come from a place of sharing our experience or sharing something that's very deep and meaningful and valuable to us. But we're not going to be able to determine what's deep and meaningful and valuable to us if our we have a face mask connected to our rear end. Okay? You have to step back from thinking. Step back. Widen out. Brighten out. Not understanding, not knowing, not being in charge. This isn't your shift at McDonald's. This isn't your shift at Walmart where you come in and you have an opinion about how things were left by the overnight team. Okay? There's no opinion here to be shared. There's no comment here to be shared. You shut your mouth and you meditate and you listen. That's right. You're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling me with your comment. All right? Shut up and listen. Don't be convinced by anything or anyone. Especially don't be convinced by your own thoughts or opinions about this experience. And don't be negative. Don't take things negatively. Don't give things negatively. It all comes back to our intention. So what is your intention in sharing that comment? I don't know. So just don't know. Don't speak. Just don't know. Just don't speak. And then we get aggressive. We start acting weirdly. We start trying to harm other people. Don't try to harm anyone. I speak like that because I believe in you. I believe that you can see through the fog that your own rear end has created in the bubble of your mind and your life and your identity and your ego. Okay? You can see straight through it. Here, we only want the worst of the worst here and the best of the best here. Nobody who's in the middle. If you're in the middle, you're coming here, you got an opinion to share, get the hell out of here. This place is for the worst of the worst, people who are a skip and a hop away from the schizophrenia bin, okay? This place is for the people who are a skip and a hop and a few moments away from being injected with Thorazine to get them to calm down, okay? Because they're completely out of their mind. Or the people who are right at the cusp of enlightenment, or skating on the seas of nirvana. They've reached the other shore. If you're in the middle, this is not the place for you, okay? We want the baddest of the bad and the goodest of the good. Period. All right? I've got all the Thorazine that you need. We've got all the Dhamma that you need right here for all of you Nirvanaists. All right? And that mix-up is just to be forgiven, not to be figured out. The resolution of forgiveness. If you're not sure what side you're on, that means I'm here to bring you to that side or the other. The Thorazine side or the Nirvana singing side. So instead of this being about you understanding something, this is about you not understanding everything and being completely fine with that. So what? If you do understand or if you don't understand, so what? If it's good or it's bad, so what? If it's wrong or it's right, so what? If you're crazy or enlightened, so what? Be aware and let go. Together with everything. with anything and do your best. Kind and gentle and compassionate and open and free with whatever. Again and again and again and again and again until we stop getting bored by it and we fall into it completely. We stop getting bored by being free and we actually say, wow, freedom is enough. I don't need to keep seeking for more. Freedom is enough. Sometimes everyone has to step back just to help one person. And it's not about the result. It's about our intentions and our willingness to try. The clearer that those intentions are, to help, to benefit, to cut through delusion, to cut through self-grasping, that's it. Don't fixate on the result. Well, this worked or this didn't. That's how you become the stupidest person in the world. I feel this way, so that means that this is that way and that way is this way, and I tell a big story about that. You don't know why you feel this way. You don't know why the clouds look that way right now. You can't explain it. That's wisdom. The inexplicable nature of the way that things already are. Trying to explain it is just ruminations of the mind. And do you really want to ruminate anymore? Or do you want to step back and give out and go beyond? To go the full way. An empty ashtray is beyond ego. You want to eat it, you want to put it on an altar, you want to think about it, just let it go. Think about your breathing until you can see clearly that you don't have to think about your breathing to breathe. Then, breathe with your breathing until you can realize that there's no you necessary to breathe. Just breathe. And look at that very, very closely. The you-lessness of just breathing. And then try to endure and stay with that. Stay with that breathing experiencing. Without getting attached, without making up more and more stories and thoughts about your experience, but just experiencing. Without attaching. Just experiencing without attaching, without any excuses. Can you imagine the first ever in-person monk life meditation retreat? And somebody stands up. Let's see who stands up. Who is it? Donnie Boy stands up. And he makes a proclamation. And I start clapping my hands. Donnie Boy, come up to the center. Hold your arms up like this. No speaking aloud. No thinking aloud. Mindfulness without attaching, regardless of however profound your thought is, however profound your belief is. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you desire. It doesn't matter what you fear. It doesn't matter what you're experiencing. The waterfall of awareness without attaching to things. Beyond ego is just stupidity. Until you can accept how stupid you are, you will never be enlightened. The smartest person in the room is the person in the room that I'll punch the hardest in the gut. That's my kung fu. That's my ninja way. When I walk into a room and I see the smartest person in the room, I... Real intelligence is stupidity. You can quote me on that. Real intelligence is stupidity. And so you see, we have a lot of really intelligent people in here, and that's a big problem. No. There's no need to look. Just be aware. Don't worry, Genevieve. It's better to help you calm down. Just entertain the idea. What if I'm just completely crazy? And try to be okay with being completely crazy. And from there, you need to detach. You need support in that way. You need to abandon your life. And see if you can stabilize yourself enough with saying, "Oh wait, I'm just completely crazy," to to make your way out to Myanmar or to go over to California. I don't know how far you are from California, but that's one of your best bets because your condition is pretty severe. You're really, really crazy, and that's okay. That's not a problem. But you need support, and to get more support, you need to detach more from your own life, from your own standards, from your own experience. And dear, this isn't about you personally being crazy. All these people are crazy. J.D. Baker is a lunatic. Don S. is a wildly schizophrenic freak. John Doe is completely out of his mind. All these people are crazy. Ice Cream is a pretty sane guy, pretty good guy. But we have to be more comfortable with how stupid and crazy and ridiculous we are in the true sense. Being okay with how your life is. Stop thinking that we're so important. People think that they're so important, that their opinion is so important. Take your opinion and shove it in the crevice of a mountain pine and let it go. We all want to go around telling other people, what we think about them. I don't do that. I say the way that things are. Genevieve, you're crazy. Don, you're crazy. Duk Nguyen, you're a lunatic. That's the way that it is. Chloe, we're going to see. We're going to see if we can work on your case. But please try to do what I tell you to do. Follow the instructions. It takes time. We're not in a rush. Big, fast progress means big, fast suffering. So to facilitate that is difficult. So just slowly help you to suffer more, help you to be more aware of your suffering, all right? Step by step. And so we can start by being concerned with the Dharma masters, not the Buddhism, not Dharma, not Sangha, but the real specific Dharma masters, and listening to the gases coming out of their face. That's one of the best places to start, to get smart. Okay? Like I said, this teaching, this live streaming, this platform is for people who are right on the cusp of enlightenment and people who are a skip and a scop away from a mental institution. Okay? So if you're not one of those people, you're in the wrong place. Well, okay. Now we're starting to getting excited, aren't we, Hal? We're kind of getting into the way of being. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. I am solid. I am free. I am solid. I am free. In the ultimate I dwell. In the ultimate I dwell. Boom, boom. Good job, NJ. So this is the real deal. This is the real Buddhism. Sanjay, you have to cut. One word is enough. One sound is enough. Break through the empty wall. See through the illusory mirror. There is no here and now. There is no we. There is no truly alive. Break out. Break out from the bars and the chains of thoughts, of ideas, of understandings, of anything, everything, neither positive nor negative, neither right nor wrong, neither enlightened nor unenlightened. Basically, there is nothing at all to do in this practice besides training and being stable. Simply allowing our mind to be, without having to do anything, is entirely against our usual habits. Our normal tendency is to think, I want to do this, I want to do that. Then we actually go do it. Finally, we feel happy and satisfied when it's all neat, all completed, accomplished all by ourselves. But that attitude is totally wrong in the context of this type of practice. There is nothing whatsoever to do. We don't have to construct what is unformed. Anything we try to do becomes an imitation, something made up by our thoughts and concepts. As a matter of fact, it may feel utterly unsatisfying, extremely disappointing to allow our original nature to be as it naturally is. We might much rather do something, imagine something, create something, and really put ourselves through a lot of hardship. Maybe that is why the Buddha did not teach Dzogchen and Mahamudra openly, or teaching Zen openly. Because this not doing is in some ways contrary to human nature. This Buddha nature is free of the three times of past, present, and future, while our mind is free under the power of the three times. Wakeful knowing is free of the three times. The three times involve fixating, thinking. Wakeful knowing is free of fixation and thought. If we really apply ourselves to it sincerely, there will come a time when we discover something called establishing the natural state. When you experience this, suddenly it's not so hard any longer. We realize that this fantastic thing called Buddha nature, our mind essence, is not out of reach at all. Since it is not something very complex, simply allow that to be regularly sustained. When it is totally easy and simple to recognize your natural face, you have established the natural state. Right now, in the very moment of recognizing mind essence, there is an immediate absence of disturbing emotions, of ignorance, of deluded thinking. This training is simply to remain undistracted, because it is this non-distraction that brings us all the way to complete enlightenment. Non-distraction doesn't mean deliberately trying to be undistracted, as we do when we replace normal thoughts with the thought, don't be distracted. It is simply to not forget. The moment we forget, and we do forget, both the practice and all other things get forgotten, because our attention strays. The key point here is not to remain distracted in a conceptual way. It is simply to allow the state of the unconfined empty cognizance, which by itself is undistracted, to continue. That is the training. Try to imagine what it's like when this moment of empty cognizance, suffused with awareness, starts to last for a full hour, unbroken. The very first moment of empty cognizance, meaning it's like awareness without a self, but there's a presence, there's a fullness, there's an attention there. The very first moment of empty cognizance already has the potential for full omniscience, complete knowing, complete understanding of everything, as well as the potential for compassion and loving kindness, the potential ability to protect and help other beings, as well as to manifest the activity that functions for the welfare of all. All these qualities are present but not fully manifest. The longer this lasts, the more the qualities become visible, actualized. They don't just appear later on when realization is fully experienced. When the sun rises in the morning, do we have to wait for it to shine before it is warm and brilliant? Although the noon sun may be stronger than the dawn sun, all of its qualities are present from the very first moment, though they may not be fully manifested. It is the same in this training. What is essential is to train in order to attain stability. Please understand that self-existing wakefulness is primordially endowed with all perfect qualities. The qualities of enlightenment are not a fabrication or a product. They are not something new that we discover or achieve. They are present from the very beginning. It is like the unchanging brilliance of the sun shining in the sky. It can be obscured by clouds, but these clouds are neither primordial nor intrinsic to the sky. They are always temporary, momentary. What prevents full realization of our innate nature of self existing wakefulness is the momentary occurrence of thoughts and fixation. Because this occurrence is momentary, it can be cleared away. It's very important to understand this. Because it is momentary, it can be cleared away.
Qua bên bún tắm hoặc là bạn mua về.
Remember that irrelevance starts with I. The mirror of essential points, a letter in praise of emptiness from Jamyang Dorje to his mother. Wow. I pay homage at the lotus feet of Tenpei Nima, who is inseparable from Lord Longchen Rabjam, and who perceives the natural state of emptiness, of the ocean-like infinity of things. A letter of advice I offer to you, my noble mother, Poldzam. Listen for a while without distraction, staying here without discomfort. I am at ease and free from worries, in a joyful state of mind. Are you well yourself, dear mother? Here, in a country in the West, there are many red and white-skinned people. They perform all kinds of magic and displays, like flying through the skies and moving like fish in the water. Having mastery over the four elements, they compete in displaying miracles with thousands of beautiful colors. There are innumerable spectacles, like designs of rainbow colors, but like a mere dream when examined, they are merely the mistaken perceptions of mind. All activities are like the games children play. If started, they can never be finished. They are only completed once you let them be, like castles made of sand. But that is not the whole story. All the phenomena of samsara and nirvana, although thought to be permanent, do not last. When examined, they are but empty forms that appear without existence. Although unreal, they are thought to be real. But like an illusion, when examined, they are found to be unreal. Look outward at the perceived objects, like a water in a mirage. They are more delusive than delusion, unreal like a dream or a magical apparition. They resemble a rainbow or the reflection of the moon. Look inward at your own mind. It seems quite exciting when not examined, but when examined, there is nothing to it. Appearing without existing, it is nothing but empty. It cannot be identified. You cannot say that's it, because it is evanescent and elusive like mist. Look at whatever appears in any of the 10 directions. No matter how it manifests, the thing in itself, its very nature, is the sky-like nature of the mind, beyond the projection and the dissolution of thought and concept. Everything has the nature of being empty. When the empty looks at the empty, who is there to look at something empty? As it is illusion looking at illusion, and delusion watching delusion, what is the use of many classifications, such as empty or not empty? Whatever you do is all right. However you rest, you are at ease. In the effortless and sky-like nature of the mind, the vast expanse of awareness, the natural state of all things. This was said by Jetsun Padmasambhava and the great Siddha Saraha. Whatever you do is all right. However you rest, you are at ease. In the effortless and sky-like nature of the mind, the vast expanse of awareness, the natural state of all things. Leave all conceptual thought constructions, such as duality or non-duality, to spontaneously dissolve in themselves. Leave all conceptual constructions, such as duality or non-duality, to spontaneously dissolve in themselves, like waves on a river. The great demon of ignorant and discursive thought causes one to sink into the ocean of samsara. But when freed from this picking and choosing thought, there is the indescribable state beyond conceptual mind. Other than mere discursive thoughts, there are not even the words samsara and nirvana. The total subsiding of discursive thought is the suchness of Dharmadhatu itself, not made by complex statements. This unfabricated single sphere is emptiness, the natural state of the mind. Thus it was said by Sugata, when simply left to itself, the essence of whatever may appear is the unfabricated and uncorrupted view. The Dharmakaya mother of emptiness, all discursive thoughts are emptiness, and the observer of emptiness is discursive thought. Emptiness does not destroy discursive thought, and discursive thought does not obstruct emptiness. The mind nature of fourfold emptiness is the pinnacle of everything, profound and quiescent, free from complexity, in uncompounded luminous clarity, beyond the mind of concepts. This is the depth of the mind of the victorious ones. Beyond the mind of concepts. In this, there is no object to be removed, nor something that needs to be added. It is merely the natural looking naturally into itself. In short, when the mind has fully severed the fetters of clinging to something, all the points are condensed into one. This is the tradition of the supreme being Tilopa and of the great Pandita Naropa. Such a profound and natural state as this, among all the different kinds of bliss, is the one known as the wisdom of great bliss. Among all kinds of delights, it is the king of supreme delight. Among all the tantric sections of the secret mantra, it is the supreme fourth empowerment. This is the ultimate pointing out instruction, the view of samsara and nirvana as inseparable, and that of Mahamudra, Dzogchen, the middle way, and so on, has many different titles, but only one essential meaning. This is the view of Jamgon Mifam. As an aid to this king of views, one should begin with bodhicitta and conclude with dedication. Through skillful means, in order to cut off the fixation of ego, the root of samsara, the king of all great methods, is unsurpassable bodhicitta. The king of perfect dedication is the means of increasing the root of virtue. This teaching is the specialty of Shakyamuni, which is not taught by other teachers. More than this is unnecessary to accomplish complete enlightenment, but less than this will be incomplete. This swift path of the three excellencies, called the heat, eye, and life force, is the approach of Longchen Rabjam. Emptiness, the wish-fulfilling jewel, is unattached generosity. I'm going to start speaking in tongues, everybody. Please, let's get some W's in the chat. Let's get some likes if we haven't already gotten them. Let's get some inspiration. Let's get some exuberance in here, everybody. Let's get some W's in the chat for Buddha. Let's clear out. Let's blast out. Let's finish out the delusions of ignorance, complicated attachment, and thinking with the W's in the chat. Let's hear it for our friends in the back that won't shut up. Listen closely. Emptiness, the wish-fulfilling jewel, is unattached generosity. It is uncorrupted discipline. It is angerless patience. It is undiluted exertion. It is undistracted meditation. This emptiness, the essence of insight, is the meaning of the three vehicles. Emptiness is the natural state of mind. It is the non-conceptual refuge and the absolute bodhicitta. It is the Vajrasattva who absolves evils. It is the mandala of perfecting accumulations. Emptiness is the guru yoga of Dharmakaya.
To abide in the natural state of emptiness is calm abiding, samatha. To perceive it as vividly clear is clear seeing, vipassana. The view of the perfect development stage and the wisdom of bliss and emptiness in the completion stage, the non-dual great perfection and the single sphere of Dharmakaya are all included within emptiness. Emptiness purifies the karmas and dispels the obstructing forces. Emptiness tames the demons and accomplishes the deities. The profound and natural state of emptiness dries up the ocean of passion. It crumbles the mountain of anger and illuminates the darkness of stupidity. It calms down the gale of jealousy, defeats the illness of the kleshas, and is a friend in sorrow. It destroys conceit in joy and is victorious in the battle with samsara. It annihilates the four maras, turns the 8 worldly dharmas into same taste, and subdues the demon of ego clinging. It turns negative conditions into allies and turns bad omens into good fortune. It results in true and complete enlightenment and gives birth to the Buddhas of the 3 times. There is no teaching higher than emptiness. There is no teacher swifter than emptiness. There is no teaching more excellent than emptiness. There is no teaching more profound than emptiness. Emptiness is the knowing of one that frees all. Emptiness is the supreme king of medicines. Emptiness is the nectar of immortality. Emptiness is spontaneous accomplishment beyond effort. Emptiness is enlightenment without exertion. By meditating on emptiness, one feels tremendous compassion toward the being obscured by belief in a self, and bodhicitta arises without effort. All the qualities of the path and levels will appear naturally without any effort. And toward the law of the unfailing effect of karma, one will feel a heartfelt conviction. If one has but one moment of certainty in this kind of emptiness, the tight chains of ego clinging will shatter into pieces. This was said by Aryadeva. It is more supreme to meditate on emptiness than to offer all the infinite Buddha fields filled with the wealth of gods and men to the Sugatas and their spiritual sons. If the merit of resting evenly, just for an instant, in this natural state could assume concrete form, the element of space could not contain it. Shakyamuni, the peerless lord of the Munis, threw his body into pyres of fire, gave away his head and limbs, and performed hundreds of other austerities for the sake of this profound emptiness. Although one fills the world with great heaps of gold and jewels as offerings, this profound teaching on emptiness, even when searched for, is hard to find. This is said in the 100,000 verses of the Prajna Paramita. To meet this supreme teaching is the splendid power of merit of many eons beyond measure. In short, by means of emptiness, one is, for one's own benefit, liberated into the expanse of the unborn Dharmakaya, the true and complete enlightenment of the 4 kayas and the 5 wisdoms. Then the unobstructed display of Rupakaya will ceaselessly manifest to teach whatever and whoever is in need. stirring the depth of samsara for the benefit of others through constant, all-pervading, and spontaneous activity. In all the sutras and tantras, this is said to be the ultimate fruition. How can someone like me put into words all the benefits and virtues of this, when the victorious one with his Vajra tongue cannot completely elucidate them all, even if he speaks for an eon? The glorious Lord, the supreme teacher who gives teachings on emptiness, appears in the form of a human being, though his mind is truly a Buddha. Without deceit and hypocrisy, supplicate him from your very heart. Without needing any other method, you will attain enlightenment in this very life. This is the manner of the all-embodying jewel, which is taught in the tantras of the great perfection. When you have this jewel in the palm of your hand, do not let it go to waste meaninglessly. Learning, like the stars in the sky, will never come to an end through studies. What is the use of all the various teachings requested and received? What is the use of any practice that is not superior to that of emptiness? Do not seek many special outfits, such as carrying a staff or wearing braids or animal skin. The elephant is already in your house. Do not go searching for its footprints in the mountains. Mother, meditate on the essence of mind as it is taught by the Master, the Vajra holder. This is the quintessence of the essence. Of all 84,000 teachings, it is the heart substance of 1,000,000,000 learned and accomplished ones. It is the ultimate practice. This advice from the core of the heart of the fallen monk, Jamyang Dorje, is the purest of the purest essence, from the bindu of my lifeblood. Therefore, keep it in your heart, Mother. These few words of heart advice were written in a beautiful countryside, in the palace of the spacious blue sky that competes with the splendor of divine realms. To the devoted Chokyi Nodzam, my dear and loving mother, and to all my devoted students, I offer this letter of advice. Goodbye, everyone. Be happy, be peaceful, be good, and don't forget that emptiness is the one watching you.